Hey everybody, welcome back. Psych here. Got 4 LPs to share with you today, and quite a juicy stack, I must say. This is all very much encompassing the pretty much everything that I'm all about, man. Psychedelia, and these 4 titles qualify. You know, in the past we've been kind of doing a variety of things like power pop and jazz fusion this year, which is totally outside my normal listening pleasures, but yeah, man, these all fall into the Psych category in one way or another, and they kind of like a mixture of like archival releases, at least a couple of them are, and then sort of like proto-prog titles, and 2 of them I actually picked up yesterday, kind of fit in that bag, so we'll talk about them. The last one I did not get around listening to last night, so my history might be a little fuzzy, but I'm pretty confident we can cover it pretty well. Then by the end of the video, I'm kind of going to wrap up sort of my ideas for the end of the year, what videos I'll put out, and then just talk about a few things. And so stick around to the end. Otherwise, got a lot of information to drop in this video, so stick around and let's dive in. So I'm going to talk about this one first. I opened up the video with this record, and this is Joker's Wild. And no, it's not David Gilmour's Joker's Wild. This is, I believe they're from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Definitely a Minnesota band. And they formed, originally it was like 1965 I think they formed, but they had several lineup changes. So this is like recordings when they trimmed down to a power trio. And just look at them goofy outfits, by the way. A little goofy, but kind of cool at the same time. And I think this art design for their logo was taken from a poster of theirs when they were promoting around the area. And this band in particular, they kind of have a rocky, sort of jumbled backstory to them. A lot more downs than ups. You know, the ups and downs. A lot more downs than ups, for sure. And I think they only legitimately released at least 1 or 2 singles back in their prime years. But even financing their 45 singles, which they recorded pretty much all around the Midwest region, never came to light. They even recorded at IGL Studios in Iowa. And I think while they were on tour, they just didn't have enough funds to produce it when they were, I think they were traveling through like South Dakota or something, and just couldn't pony up to it. But yeah, this is, by the way, it's called Liquid Giraffe, which I think was originally a 12, I think it was like supposed to be a 12 set song LP. I just never saw the light of day. So this is an archival release. And this is a Shadox copy from, I think, 2011 or 2013, around there. So kind of goes back a ways. And this is like one of those items on my want list that's been on there since I've been on Discogs practically. Just never could find a copy under 30 bucks till now, you know, in total. And I just learned there was a 2 LP set that just came out this year through Sundays with, I think, a lot of the same tracks, but then maybe some additional tracks since it's 2 LP. And I will say though, man, this is pretty well produced, especially side A. I think there's like 1 track that was recorded elsewhere, Universal Audio, and but most of it was recorded at Mike's Side Recording Studio from like 68 to 69. So I think they recorded it over a few months span, and you can kind of tell the difference, you know, between where it was recorded. But a lot of these rock out, man. They kind of remind me a little bit of CAC, especially with that kind of rural bend to their sound. But it's definitely more hard rock based than anything. Some people label it as garage rock. I don't hear much of that. It's very much coming from that kind of power trio, heavy psych, sort of hard rock and kind of style to it. But opens up with their single Peace Man. And I think the B-side was also Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the B-side. But really love the 3rd track, The Grass is Greener. That's the one that was kind of reminding me of CAC in a way, or sort of that kind of West Coast style. And then you got tracks like, I think ICU is the instrumental, American Dream, which I opened up the video with. The only track I don't really care for too much is Dissatisfied. It's like a nearly 7-minute kind of blues slog that just kind of goes nowhere. And then the ending track, Good Time, was I think that's actually a cover. I forget by who, but they also cover a Hollies track. Have You Ever Loved Somebody? Yeah, that's the one. Good Time. Is that a Buffalo Springfield track? I forget. Anyways, yeah, great stuff. I'll show the little background info here. Yeah, lots to cover with this band. And I guess they apparently lost $20,000 in sun amplifier equipment caught on fire or something. Yeah, they had these big sun amplifiers. I think it's, yeah, it's on this photo here on the bottom. Look at that rig, man. And I think they were playing like high school proms, you know. But they played with a lot of groups too, notably I think CCR and who else? Grand Funk Railroad, Canned Heat, Procol Harum. So they definitely got around in the Midwest. I kind of dig those outfits more than the front cover, but yeah, look at that drum kit, man. Yeah, so definitely one to investigate in if you guys are interested in, you know, the kind of that late 60s hard rock style. For me, I think it's one of the best. And they were definitely rubbing shoulders with bands like The Litter. I think one of the members, Lonnie Knight, he was planning to join The Litter when they were recording Emerge, but I guess they had a little, you know, something with the lineup just didn't mesh well or something. But yeah, rubbing shoulders with Thunder Tree, The Litter, you know, sort of that ilk. So definitely check it out if you guys are interested. Yeah, I don't have too many titles on Shadox. The only other one I had was Sound Factory. I had that one years ago now, but I just never played it too often. Might have one or two other Shadok titles, but they usually have pretty good quality, I would say. Always have like a thick, sort of laminated cover and thick vinyl too. Okay, I had to start that all over because I'm losing sunlight and the quality wasn't showing up, so we'll start this one again. This is an archival release from 2007, around there, and it's on the Anazatezi label, I think it's pronounced as. This is a band called Jardine. It's a short-lived group, and this is called Look in the Window. It's got a little cool design here. Opens up to the band. Never officially released anything back in their day. I don't even think they had a single. I think they did have a single, but it was released under another name, like Stampede. And it was, I think they released the track Harpsichord was the track. And this is one I've known about for a while now. This is one I just kind of splurged on one day. You just don't see it in the US too often. And it had been on my want list for a while and just caught my attention. I was like, okay, let's finally pick up the stuff I really want. And this is pretty good, man. The first two tracks may not impress listeners with their version 1 of Execution of the Child and Rainy Day Julep. A little more on the soft side. Doesn't really, you know, sound like they have potential to be too tripped out. But once you get to the third track, Hello, Goodbye, Victoria Kane, things start ramping up. And they don't rock out too much, but it's a little more on the pop psych side with sort of a clean tone, kind of strumming guitar. Not so much in the folk rock way, but maybe a little bit. But then you got a track like Harpsichord, has a little bit of that working with the harmonies. I think the other rocking track, Somewhere Within Orpheus, I think that's the one. And then Masochists of Strangulation kind of works with the sort of tempo changes, goes upbeat and then kind of sort of a down tempo. And it's got a very lo-fi quality to it, which I really like. In other words, sort of a music box production, I like to call it. It's kind of a tinny sound, but the quality of the songwriting really pops through. And yeah, I haven't really listened to it again since I first bought it, but I got this a couple weeks ago. But man, I really love this one. Really is the best listen so far since owning it. And just, you know, of course, cool graphic art there with the paint splattered. I think they were also known as The Paint before this band came along. They formed in like early '69, and I think they ended in the fall of '69. So a very short-lived group. Got some photographs here, and it's got a couple notable members here. We got Keith Law, who would later join Velvet Fog, and then who's the other guy? I think it's Michael Cox. He was in Band of Joy, that Robert Plant, you know, pre-Zeppelin band. Yeah. I don't know if I gave that a shot yet. I can't see it. There you go. Kind of shows their history here and some lyrics inside. So, yeah, they just had this 40-year-old tape lying around and finally produced it years later. So, a little bit underrated yet, I would say. Like a lot of archival releases. You know, if they never got the proper release back in its day, they kind of just get kind of lost by a lot of people unless you're really hunting this stuff down. But overall, really do enjoy and recommend Jardine. Look in the window. There should be a full album upload on there as well. Check it out. And then got this little poster here too. Oops. Stuff falling on me. And you can believe I'm gonna hang this up somewhere. Love that. It still smells fresh. It's a near mint copy. Pretty sure this was limited too. Just like the Joker's Wild, which I think only had 500 copies. This is probably around the same ballpark. So, if anything, just give it an online listen, see what you think. Okay, and then on to the last two that I picked up yesterday. And funny enough, ironically, this is related to the last one we just talked about, Jardine. Velvet Fog. Gotta be careful. Unless the YouTube police show up at my door. I don't know. I'm probably being ridiculous about it, but who cares, right? And there's children that watch. And yeah, so Velvet Fog, UK based, once again. And this is kind of one of your sort of typical prog, proto-prog kind of bag with, you know, sort of leaning from that overlay of freakbeat styles, you know, a little bit of that classical pop sound with tracks like Once Among the Trees, which I think is my favorite off of here. Yellow Cave Woman is kind of a fan favorite on here. There are a couple covers on here which are passable for me. But yeah, New York Mining Disaster 1941 and Come Away Melinda. Some people say it's like the best version of that. I don't know about that, but I kind of always liked the UFO version. But what's the other track? I think mostly the Keith Law tracks are the best cuts on here, and the other one would be Within the Night. Rock out in some spots. Got some heavy Hammond organ working on that. A lot of like vibrato working within the Hammond organ. So yeah, this is a bootleg, by the way. I think this is like from the early 2000s. So sound quality though, I can report that it sounds very good. It's on the Thorns Backtrack Archive series, which I have never heard of. I looked into it on Discogs. Looks like there's about 20 releases on there. They reissued the Aggregation, Oriental Sunshine, so some kind of rarities like that. Traded this one in full with another title, had just lying around, so this one just came out of the store with me. Kind of a plain label. It was originally released on Pi. And of course, it's well known that Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath was an early member. And his cousin's actually a part of this band too, and he would later join the other dark sort of Birmingham group, The Ghost, with When You're Dead, 1 Second, which I'm still kind of looking for a copy of that as well. And then I think the organ player, he would later go on to Warhorse as well. So a lot of different connections between all these different groups from the UK scene. And then on to the last one here. This is one that kind of surprised me. I had never seen a copy of this in person. It's pretty scarce, you know, as far as just finding OGs out there. Even though they're not crazy expensive, you just never see them floating around. I just think this was probably bargain bin all day once it came out. Eyes of Blue and Fields of Arith. A little worn on the sleeve, but got a pretty good deal on this, considering it's a promo copy. Very clean disc. Love the white label Mercury. Look at that. Just how it pops. So I have their first album, which I might slightly prefer over this, but this is still very much heading towards kind of where they would land, especially the drummer in Gentle Giant. It's kind of leaning towards that kind of prog, but certainly trippy enough. I mean, this came out in like 69, 1970, just around the edge of the decade, so it's still lingering a lot of those, you know, sort of psych touches. Welsh band, So they definitely had that kind of sort of that culture working for it. Merry-Go-Round, the first track, 9 minutes long. It says it's from the film Toy Grabbers, which I had never known that fact. I didn't know it was from a film. There's their previous record. Crossroads of Time. Yeah, both released on Mercury. And like I said, this is kind of leaning more towards progressive rock than Psych, but great playing, great musicians. Classically trained, it sounds like. Very classically imbued within the record. Again, lots of Hammond organ, vocal work, vocal stylings happening here, and quite the variety. Good quality stuff, though. I mean, this is definitely one to check out if you're kind of into that sort of sophisticated but not too pretentious kind of prog. I haven't spun this one yet, so we'll definitely have to make up for that. And that's all I got for now. So hope you guys enjoyed. I did pick this up from the shop too. I think it'd been there for a while, but I just never, never paid up for it till now. And this is one of those, I think this is the last of the 3 in the platter pack series that I needed. I think they've made more, right? But this is definitely the typical ones that you see around with the cube shapes on it. Pretty decent shape. $10. I'll take it. So yeah, that goes up here. Well, got some 45s on top, but it goes there. Yeah, just kind of glad I can find these platter packs for nothing. I'll scoop them up when I can. They just found me in different places each time. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I think with the end of the year kind of wrapping up, I'm going to push out one more video. It's going to be my top 10 with some honorable mentions, finds of the year, like I always do. A lot of these, funny enough, actually came from the local shops as well. I just haven't really had to reserve to too much online shopping this year, which is always kind of nice. Nice that it's just a drive away. And yeah, I think there's only 3 or 4 titles that I purchased online that make it to the list. And then, like I said, honorable mentions. And then I think once the turn of the year comes around, I might do one more recent finds, and then I might take another extended break if you guys don't mind. I've been kind of going out of my way making videos, if you haven't noticed this year. Way out of my way to make videos, almost like every week or twice a week. And kind of starting all the way back probably about a year ago in January. And I just feel like I kind of need to take a break from the YouTube side. Of course, I'll still be watching. I still might do my live streams while it's kind of cold out, but if I'm not doing anything on like a Friday evening, and of course still watching videos, still commenting, but sometimes I just need to back away from all the noise, the distractions. Some of you kind of understand, but we all just handle it kind of differently for my own sake. And it's not just to push away because I want to abandon the channel or anything. It's just gotta take some personal steps away, I guess. It's really as simple as that. When social media first broke out, I was all about it, right? I was just, I really liked the concept of just being on different platforms and, showing your passions like I am right now. But it's just gotten so clogged up with like advertisements and things that I don't want to see. And I always try and erase things, and the internet can just always be kind of a cloudy, kind of crowded place for me. So I just got to step away a little bit and take some time and look in different directions. So with that said, hope you guys have enjoyed. Check these records out. And I'm still watching you all out there, even if I'm not commenting too much. I just, sometimes I just listen at work or watch at work, and I just kind of carry on with my day. But I'm always enjoying the circle of people I do watch, and I appreciate everybody commenting too. So take care, and we'll see you soon.